So have a look at it. Are you ready? So there are
Yeah.
3 cases of Hindu blasphemy now. Hindu, not Muslim. We know there's only one case of Nupur Sharma and there's one ongoing case of Muslim blasphemy. But this guy in Assam, he dressed as Lord Shiva in Nukkad Natak, arrested for allegedly hurting religious sentiments. This
But
is worse than.
isn't that meant to be like a thing of like being a profound statement? That they in Bollywood they show them characterized all the time.
Yeah, but no. They're going down the ways of Muslims, man. 2 other suspects to be involved are yet to be nabbed. That's it. Okay, so this is case number 1 this week, yeah? Just
So
this last week.
arbitrary. Hurting religious sentiments is so arbitrary. Anything.
That's why we say it. Yeah, that's why we say anyone can just do anything. Okay, next level. Next one. Ready?
Yeah,
This is
ready.
even more ridiculous.
Jeez.
Indian man arrested for wrapping chicken
What?
in newspaper bearing Hindu gods.
What on earth?
So those of you who don't know, in poor countries like India and Pakistan, samosa wala, pakode wala. I don't know, Nuria, if you ever had that experience. I used to have that experience when I was a kid.
Love that.
So they don't have. They try not to put these samosas, and unless you're living in Iraq, you probably know what a samosa or a pakoda is. When you go to a shop, street vendor, they give you that, and instead of putting in a plastic bag, because a myth circulated, probably might be true, that in plastic bags, like it release steam, and then it might be carcinogenic. So anyway, so that was their belief. So anyway, so what they do, they wrap it in paper. But why get new paper? Just use newspapers. But these countries are so religious that, and in Pakistan it's happened a lot, and again it's happening in India now. Maybe one of its kind. But anyway, so in Pakistan, every page might have Bismillah Rahman Rahim, some sort of a prayer, because they have to constantly suck up to their God. So that's what they used to do, and they sometimes people unknowingly, when it's busy, you just put these pakoras
You have a stack of paper, and you're just going and using each paper as your order is coming in. You're not really looking at the contents of that page.
And you can't expect the guy to read the whole newspaper. Most of them are probably they can't even read. So anyway, look at this guy. This is what happened with this poor guy. All he did was
go
about his business, do his job. Poor guy, and he was arrested because he wrapped some samosas in a newspaper carrying Hindu gods. On July 3rd, again, still the last week, in Sambal, Uttar Pradesh, the owner of a restaurant, Talib said, oh, so he was a Muslim. Okay, that probably why. I don't know, he was being cheeky. He was taken into police custody for allegedly hurting the religious sentiments of the Hindu community. But fair enough. Again, we got to ask this guy, yeah? We got to ask this guy, would you be okay with Muhammad? But again, it's not really their fault, because Hinduism has been a very lenient religion. They've never taken offense to these kind of things, but now they're upping the ante and they're saying, now, well, you know what, we're gonna get you. There is going to be a witch hunt of Muslims on these blasphemy cases. And sorry, if you believe in, this is my principle, I know I'm in the Nawabi, but I hope he doesn't pull me up on that, but the general rule is your humanity is tested when you give human rights, when you respect the human rights of even of your enemies, right? That's a good principle to have. But I have a different view on this. In third world countries, if you are against freedom of speech, you should not be given freedom of speech. If you are against, freedom of religion, then probably you can't have it either. But blasphemy, let's just say, if you are easily butthurt over your own religion, then you give license to other religious groups that they can easily get butthurt as well. And now that's exactly what's happening. Hindus are getting butthurt over some of the most minorest of things. So anyway, so an FIR was lodged by the senior sub-inspector Ajay Kumar Tyagi Brahman, which stated that Talib Hussain was deliberately doing this to hurt the religious sentiments of Hindus. It is alleged that when the cops reached his restaurant to apprehend the accused for his action, the restaurant owner pulled out a knife and tried to attack the officer with the intention to kill. Ooh. I don't know. Okay, maybe he might not be as innocent, but again, it's a blasphemy law. Just drop it all together. The restaurant owner's family says the allegation against Hussain are all fabricated. They also allege that Sambal police are conspiring with the Hindu organizations in the area against the Muslim family. The family said they were trying to punish a man just because of his religion. Anyway, well, whatever that is, that's why you need to get rid of it. Are they all? No, look, they look like normal newspapers. It's just this one happens to be a Hindu, some Hindu deities on it. Okay,
Well,
well, anyway,
why are you printing that in anyway in a newspaper if it's available to anybody? You can't expect every single non-Hindu out there to be putting that on the highest shelf and respecting what happens with that piece of paper. Don't publish it then.
Even Hindus don't do it.
Yeah. So then don't publish it. Don't put it out there.
But it's also been happening in Pakistan for so long. Every newspaper, as I said, it contains Bismillah Rahman, Auzubillahi Minash Shaitanir Rajeem, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Somewhere along the paper, they would have some verse from the Quran or a hadith or something. But what we call is raddi, which is scrap paper. So these scrap collectors would come and they would say, just give us your scrap paper. So people would collect all these newspapers. But this is again back in the day. I don't know how popular common newspapers are these days. But so they would get them and they would get 20 rupees or something in return and they would weigh it. And then they would just whatever they sell it to these guys, pakode wala, samosa wala, whatever. So what about them? They didn't care about blasphemy then. But if some butthurt cleric sees it, then he's going to go after it. And some innocent is going to... It's a common practice. Anyway, so that's just 2 blasphemy cases, yeah? You ready for one more?
Yeah, go on.
This one is probably the most high-profile one.
Okay.
This lady, Leena Meenakshi, is a filmmaker based in Canada, thankfully. She got booked for blasphemy because she went after Kalima Armin Navabi styles. This is it. This is offensive, Nuria. She's having a siggy.
Wow, she's done a whole documentary on like a badass Kali.
Yeah, and look, Kali is portrayed as a badass woman.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, so she got super thrilled to share the launch of my recent film today at Aga Khan Museum, which is Muslim name, as part of his Rhythms of Canada. I made this performance doc as a cohort of blah, 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 feeling pumped with my crew. Okay, so let's just be honest. And let's hear out the Hindu argument as well, which is absolutely absurd. So first guy we showed, he was just dressed as Lord Shiva. Come on, you charged him with blasphemy. Second guy, Muslim guy, wraps pakoras in a newspaper that has got some Hindu deities. Okay, you're saying deliberately doing it? I don't know. It's a pretty common practice everywhere. And if you went through the newspaper, you might see some Quranic verse as well. But this one, they say women like Leena Meenakshi, why don't they blaspheme against Muhammad? I mean, what kind of a benchmark is this? She's a Hindu or ex-Hindu atheist now. She's a Hindu atheist. Why does she have to equally target all religions? Now, there are a lot of Indian ex-Muslims are coming out, and none of them, or actually majority of them, don't say anything about Hinduism or Christianity. They say, well, we're ex-Muslims, so we're only going to talk about Islam. And these Hindus, they become the cheerleaders, and they say, whoa, yes, great. Yes, stick to your own religion. And kind of like what this guy said, which said that, just stick to your own Muhammad. But, so does everyone have to prove that? Again, why should she have to pick a fight with anyone else? Fair enough. She probably understands that if she went after Muhammad, she will be screwed back as well.
Yeah.
But I think that's a pretty unfair demand from the Hindu community. She's an ex-Hindu. She can talk about Hinduism. Kind of take your own advice. You say, well, we're ex-Muslim. We shouldn't talk about Hinduism, which we actually don't. Not as much. We only talk about political Hinduism. But anyway, that's just how it is. So anyway, so my point was, there are more blasphemy cases registered in India, not only this week, but throughout this year, than Pakistan. How's that for a fun fact?
Wow. Whoa.
And that is something, isn't it?
And that is not something you expect from, supposedly the secular democratic country, the largest in the world. You should be beyond blasphemy like that. Bookings above and beyond Pakistan, which we call out all the time because of how backwards it is, that spillover into India it's taking a very, very dark turn. And yeah, you've been saying this for weeks on end.
I've been saying this for so long that India will supersede because it's a much bigger country. And Hindus have been warning that, don't test up patience, kind of like that guy did. But anyway, the patience is over. Well, no, that was a Muslim guy. But Hindus are chanting these ridiculous slogans when we'll be chanting Ram Ram, when we'll be killing Muslims, that kind of things. Those kind of politically charged, violent slogans, they do manifest in reality. Kind of like that behead those who insult Muhammad, popularized in 2011 after Salman Taseer's murder. Yeah, and look where it went. Now that has spread to India as well. We spoke about Kanhaiya Lal and another medical pharmacist, Umesh Kohli, I think his name was. He was He was killed by two university-going Muslims because he also just supported Nupur Sharma. That's supporting Nuria. It's not even blasphemy itself.
Yeah, exactly. It's just showing solidarity with her right to say that.
Kali is offered whiskey and sacrificed goat every Saturday in North and East India, Kali temples. It is very common practice, but a movie maker showed this. Dunni's got mad. Stop that practice first. Exactly, right. So Kali's offered whiskey
is getting like people are starving in India. Yeah, Kali is getting whiskey and meat given dedicated to her. Yeah.
No, but Nuri, Kali is a badass. Kali is a badass.
Yeah, I'm not sure I know too much about her, but I think she is one of the goddesses that like avenged rape and something as well. Yeah. She is proper badass. Like no one could mess with her. That's what all of her power and stuff stands for. But no wonder if she's eating meat and whiskey every Saturday.
Yeah, she's an absolute badass, and these guys are just,
And so, but again, this is very similar to what happened with Nupur Sharma. Like, if you're just showing or stating, illustrating, depicting fact or something that actually happens, it's considered wrong just because you're not the right person who's saying that it happens.
So somebody actually said that this comes from actually deep-rooted misogyny from Hindus as well.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
That because so they say Kali is our mother, and she's not supposed to be shown as a nudist because nobody wants to see his mother naked. That was the first beef, and now with the cigarette, that comes from deeply rooted misogynistic ideals for a woman. That hang on. She can't.
How dare a woman smoke? Yeah, that's a man's territory.
Only Obash, only loose women smoke and drink.
Loose character and bad morals, and
yeah. So that's their standard of womanhood. So
this is a really good point that Hal 9000 makes. They're intimidated by powerful women, even in their own mythology. It's true. I guess on the point that Horace is making in terms of the other connotations with it. Again, but also it's a bit disrespectful because they probably don't want to see their mother drinking or smoking.
No, but they're okay with their mother beheading evil guys.
Yeah, because they were evil and she was saving her self-dignity and respect, which is more power to Kali Ma for doing that. She is badass.
But no, we can't promote beheading though.
No, but this is it's talking clearly. Mythically.
But people draw morals.
Evil in her case.
Yeah, but people draw morals from that. That's the only problem. But anyway.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.